Coach, you want to start us off?
First of all, I'd like to take my hat off to Coach Fleck and the Minnesota Gophers. That was a excellent game. Congratulate them on the win. Obviously, we're disappointed in the outcome, but I really believe that the young men did play a very, very hard game. There was fantastic effort out there. I didn't think there was anybody giving up, and we felt like we had a chance to win it all the way down to the end. That's about all I got right now.
For questions, we believe have microphone holders on the side, so raise your hand and just address them to which player you're going to speak to. Emily, you want to lead us off?
Marlo, linebacking core was pretty slim today. I believe it was just you and Caden and Leon. I mean, just how do you guys feel like you held up? And I'm pretty sure you were playing a different system today, too. So just what was that like?
Yeah, so really, Coach Monroe wanted to attack Minnesota differently, just because how we were down with linebackers and also D-line. So really, we just wanted the guys to step up, and which they did. I seen Caden Bailey make a lot of plays, so I'm just waiting to see what he's going to do next year.
Christian?
LeQuint, how did you prepare for this game, especially knowing that Sean Tucker wasn't going to play? What was your mentality coming in, and how do you feel you can evaluate your game after your performance today?
I prepared with film, practice, going out there every day, and working hard, and walkthroughs, still running, and just doing that.
You go to the far side over here.
Yeah, this is from Marlo. You're from Baltimore, like Ibrahim is. Can you just describe what it was like competing against him and just the kind of career he's had, especially after what happened last year to him?
Yeah, definitely hats off to him because he's definitely been through a lot. So I'm just happy to see that he's still doing good things. But we definitely played against each other in high school. He got the best of me, but it was definitely nice again to play against him. So, like I keep saying, it's just he's a great back, one of the best backs in the nation. I'm just ready to see what he's going to do in the next level.
Dan?
LeQuint, just looking back on this game for you, just what it means for you to build off of for 2023 and being the lead back as you move forward at Syracuse.
Have a hell of a off season, get bigger, faster, stronger, and build a bond with the team so we come back stronger.
Go right down here in front.
Marvin Chambers, 4.0 Sports Media. LeQuint, being from South Jersey, coming back home, friends and family, how I feel back to play in New York City in your backyard.
It felt great, felt like I was home. I had a couple of family members come up and support me in the team, so it felt great.
We're going to go back to Mario.
This is for Marlo, all the way in the back, Marlo. Short guy in the back in the red.
Oh, okay.
There you go. How's this feel to be able to turn it around after, not going to a bowl game since 2018? I know the loss stings, but can you kind of put into perspective this season for you guys?
Oh, yeah, 100%. The loss, definitely, it does hurt, but we got to remember that we did some great things this year. A lot of people didn't have us going to a bowl game, so just giving thanks to the team and Coach Babers and all the other coaches staff because we really did come together and just do some great things this year.
Back to Emily in front and Dan down here.
LeQuint, coach had a lot of good things to say about you yesterday before the game, said there was a player that he often tells you you remind him of, an older guy. I was just wondering, he said you would have to tell us who that is, and who is that?
Marcus Allen.
What does he say you remind him of, Marcus?
The play style, and not only the play style, but the person he is.
Take a few more for the players. We'll start with Dan, then go to Anthony.
Marlo, looking at this game, knowing that there were so many guys that were going to be out either from the transfer portal or getting ready for the NFL or injury, who were some of the leaders besides yourself that you really felt like were loud in practice and led through the game here today despite the loss?
Oh, yeah. So definitely guys on defensive side, Caleb, Justin Barron, Elijah Clark. We just the people that played mostly during the season, we just wanted to come together and just have those young guys follow us and just be ready for game day because it's definitely big when you get to play your first game as a bowl game.
Last two for the players will go Anthony and Connor.
LeQuint, how can you over here? Hey, can you talk a little bit about how you think the offense did in the passing game, and then how you felt you did as a receiver, and how Schrader was tonight?
I think the offense did well. We made a couple mistakes, but that's all right. I feel like I did okay at receiver. There's still some things to clean up, and still some things to clean up on the offensive side too. So I think we played well.
And Connor for the last question for the players.
LeQuint, did Sean kind of have a message to you or a conversation with you going into the game today, maybe before the game about,
Yeah, Sean came up to me and said, "You ready?" So, so he just had me hyped when he said that. And, I went out there, chip on my shoulder.
All right, thank you. We're going to dismiss the players. They want to go see some family, so we'll let them get out of here, and we'll start with questions for
Thank
Coach.
Thank
Thanks,
you, guys.
Hey, tell those mamas I said hello.
All right, now we will open up things for Coach, and we'll start right here and then go to Emily. Light blue tie in the fourth row.
Thank you. Coach, what's one thing that you want to improve on upon next season that you say, hey, this is top priority moving into next season? What area of the game that you want to see the most improvement going into next season?
We play an aggressive style. We play an aggressive style on offense. We play an aggressive style on defense. I think the thing that we need to improve on, there's no doubt about it, is our special teams and our penalties. And both of those showed up in this game. It showed up in the first game, and it showed up in the last game. And I'm positive about a lot of things, but then there's certain things that it's hard to be really positive about. So we need to clean those things up.
Next question will go to Emily in the front row.
Tried for a 4th and 3 early in the game, but then ended up punting on a 4th and 1 later. Just curious about some of the play calling there on those 4th downs.
4th and 3 is we figured that if we could score 31 points, we're going to win the game because they can't score. We don't believe that they could score 31 points against us. So that early in the game, we wanted to have opportunities where we could be aggressive. The second time around, we felt like based off the score and the time on the clock that we could play this a different way and we should get another opportunity to get the ball back and have an opportunity to go for 7 the first time, 6 for the touchdown, then go for the 2-point conversion to tie it up later on.
We'll go to Dan in front and then Tommy.
7-6 on the season. Just reflecting on it right now, what you value from this season overall and what you take with you as you step forward for 2023?
I think there's the two hardest things to do in football is just turn a team that has never won. I'm talking about the guys that have not had a winning season to get them over the hump. That's a hard thing. That's very hard to do, and we've done that. So it should be easier next year. The toughest thing to do is the second toughest thing to do is take a team that's won like 10 games like we did one year and then come back and bring that thing back another time, because you don't win just because you did it one year. You've got to do it every year. So I think this team is still hungry. We're not average. We're above that. But I think that they're still hungry and they still want to go after it. I think that we've got a lot of talent coming back. And we had a lot of talent that was, moving on to the pros, which is great. But with our injury situation and the people that we had injured and with the extra years that they're getting back with those injuries, and if they recover from their injuries, we will have an opportunity to be very good next year. So we're excited about some of those young guys getting beat up by their by their big brothers and growing up. But when they come back next year, they won't be little brothers, that D-line. And you put that D-line with some linebackers and some back-end guys, and I think we're going to have what we want on that side of the ball. We've got to do a better job in the kicking game. There's no doubt about that. We got to do a better job with penalties. And we've got to get some connections with those receivers. But I think we have explosive receivers. We've just got to make sure that we can get the ball to them.
Tommy, and then we're going to go to Mario and back.
Coach, the unsportsmanlike penalty called on Elijah Clark there at the end. What did you see from that vantage point? I know it was on the other side of the field, and what did the ref say?
I knew you were going to ask this question, and this is something that I don't like saying. I didn't see it. Now, I was looking over there. It was the perfect angle for me not to see. I have no clue what happened. Now, guys told me what they saw upstairs, but I didn't get a chance to visually see it, and I'm not making that up. I wish I could go to bed with a vision of what happened, but I've got to wait till I see the tape.
Mario?
Coach, Garrett Schrader's had more offensive coordinators in his 4 or 5 years of college football than anyone that I know of in college football. How is his game taking that next step this year?
Where are you at in this room?
Back left.
Okay. I think it's hard, but I think the best thing that we did the best thing that we could do for Schrader, and that is, the guy that he works the most with, his quarterback coach, is the next offensive coordinator, so he gets an opportunity to have something continue as the same thing. So he has an opportunity to continue to get better, and I think that's important for his growth. And as a player, he should be extremely excited about that.
Christian?
Coach, what impressed you about LeQuint Allen's preparation for this game, and what impressed you about his game today?
You guys, LeQuint has the way LeQuint played today is we saw him playing like that in August. We saw him play like that when he was New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year. He's always been that way. He got mad. He was on 4 special teams, and he got mad that I pulled him off of the 4 special teams he was on because this game he was going to be the starting tailback. And he kept saying, "Oh, Coach, I can do all 4." And I said, "I know you can do all 4." He says, "Good." And I said, "No, not good. You're not going to be the starting tailback and do all those special teams." But trust me, he wants to. But he's just one of those guys that he's extremely valuable. He can run the football. He can throw the football. He can catch the football. But more importantly than that, he plays the game the right way. His spirit, his heart, his energy. He does not give up. Okay, he doesn't. There's no Q in him. I don't say that word, that Q-U-I-T. I don't say it, but that word's not in his vocabulary. And you get a whole bunch of guys like him, you're going to be smiling a whole bunch of times when the game's over.
Take 2 more for Coach, and we'll start with Anthony.
Coach, over here. The long kick return that set up Minnesota's last touchdown drive, from your perspective, what went wrong there? And you meant
I have to see it on the tape. The first thing is we've got to get a better kick, and we've got to, we have the ability of kicking that ball out. We have to have an opportunity to kick that ball out. But anytime there's a long kickoff return, I'm sure you're going to go back. Somebody's going to get out of their lane. Somebody's going to miss a tackle. Somebody's going to be within 3 yards and not accelerate and make the tackle and let him get into a crease. And that normally what happens when you think about, I don't want to talk about the negatives, but you think about the 1 pick 6 for a touchdown and the kickoff return, which is basically another touchdown. The defense only gave up 14 points truly. And, that's how you don't win football games, when you dominate in all the statistics, is when kicking game and turnovers for points. So,
Coach, how did you feel the field conditions affected the game today?
you know what? If it was snowing, okay, you could ask this. If it was raining, you could say the same thing. We both played on the same field. I thought the field was okay for December in New York City. I mean, I'm not complaining about that field. If it was a little glassy, both teams played on it. Both teams had to operate on it. I'm completely okay with the field. The field did not determine the winner of the game. The team that played the best and had made the least amount of mistakes won the game. So I thought the field was fine.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.